So the National Prosecuting Authority in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa says that it will appeal a High Court judgment in which Nigerian televangelist Timothy Omotoso and two others were acquitted. Last month, the Nigerian pastor and his two co-accused were acquitted on all charges, including rape, human trafficking, and racketeering. This after Judge Irma Skuman said in her ruling that the state had failed to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, to get details on this, we're joined on the line by South Africa's National Prosecuting Authority spokesperson, Mthunzi Mhaga. Thank you so much for making time for us on this Tuesday, Mthunzi. How are you?
I'm very good. Good morning, Asanda, and to your listeners. Thanks for having us.
Our pleasure. Why is the NPA appealing the judgment?
Look, the judgment itself, the acquittal, has a devastating impact on our work to ensure that victims of gender-based violence receive justice and are protected. We then took a decision to outsource the services of an independent senior counsel who will then advise us on how to approach the appeal if we were to. Then we also assembled a team of internal experienced prosecutors who prepared a memorandum of advice, and they had to go through over 2,000 pages of a transcript and 3 judgments, and they came to a conclusion that there are prospects of a successful appeal if we approach the SCA for that. And we based that on 2 grounds. One, that we are of the firm view that the Honorable Judge misdirected herself on the law and that there was not sufficient evaluation of the evidence in respect of each state witness that was presented in court, and as such, we strongly feel that the SCA can overturn that judgment.
So, Advocate, was there any specific aspect of that in terms of the testimony, including that of the key witness, Cheryl Zondi, that the NPA believes was not adequately considered?
We don't find it in the judgment, the basis of which or on which the evidence of all the state witnesses was rejected. There's only a find in respect of 2, and as such, we have requested clarification from the judge on the factual findings that informed the acquittal judgment. We do that in terms of Section 319 of the Criminal Procedure Act and a lot of case law that gives us a right to do so. We did that yesterday, the 12th of May, 2025.
The NPA has been criticized by women's rights activists after the judgment was handed out. How would you respond to the criticism, given the public attention and emotional weight that this case has carried over the years? And how is the NPA balancing legal procedure with public interest and expectation?
You are right. The public, especially the victims of crime, have every right and reason to be devastated, to criticize us, and to be frustrated by the outcome because of the adverse findings that were made by the judge on the unethical conduct of the prosecutors and the ineptitude thereof in handling the case. National Director Advocate Shamila Patoi decided to then assemble a team to investigate in order to see if we can take disciplinary steps against them. This is also to ensure that the image and the confidence that the public has in the NPA is not eroded. She also tried to reach out to the victims to at least outline the processes that we'll undertake and to ensure them that we continue to serve them in protecting them and ensuring proper administration of justice.
How soon might the appeal be heard?
The difficulty with Section 319 of the Criminal Procedure Act that regulates appeals of this nature is that there's no time frame within which such needs to be filed, but we'll do so within a reasonable time as we started yesterday. We hope that the judge will respond soonest so that we can finalize our questions of law.
In terms of the rearresting of Omotoso over the past weekend, allegedly for him flouting immigration laws, what does this appeal then mean in terms of Omotoso being deported?
These are two separate processes, but we took into account any possible deportation, but it did not influence our decision to change it, and we are proceeding and going ahead. We know the bearing that it might have on the appeal at a later stage if he were to be deported, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay, if the appeal is successful, what could it mean practically? And would there be a retrial or new charges being brought?
Remember the Oscar Pistorius judgment of culpable homicide that was converted into murder. It was the same approach, and therefore what we are praying for in terms of the meticulous argument that we'll be presenting in the SCA is for the acquittal judgment to be set aside and a guilty verdict be ordered.
So in terms of moving forward for the NPA side of things, are you concerned as the National Prosecuting Authority that this ruling might deter survivors of gender-based violence from coming forward in future cases, especially those that are this public?
We are really concerned. That's why we've taken time to scrutinize it and see if it's appealable. We've concluded that it is. And we have tried to reach out to the victims through the NGOs that represent them, this Chapter 9 institution that represents them. That engagement is continuing. And we hope and appeal to the public out there not to lose faith in us, given the fact that only last week you guys were commending us and singing praises when there was a conviction of the mother of Jocelyn Smith in the Western Cape, as well as in the Eastern Cape, a police officer who raped a 17-year-old victim of domestic violence inside a police station and was sentenced to 20 years. It's a demonstration of our commitment to protect victims of these crimes.
All right. So your final message as the NPA for the public and those affected by the case is let's not lose hope on the National Prosecuting Authority.
Let's please soldier on. We have the prosecutorial arsenal to achieve that which we seek to in protecting the victims of crime.
Thank you so much, Advocate, again for your time. We'll leave it there for today.
You're welcome.
South Africa's National Prosecuting Authority spokesperson is Advocate Mthunzi Mhaga, speaking to us here on Africa Rise and Shine.